teens a national park, and the name was changed to Zion in the 1920s. And people had been coming to this area going back to the Native Americans, and the Native Americans in this area were the Ute, the Paiute, and the Southern Paiute, as in Utah. That's where the name comes from. So the Southern Paiute had been moving through here, but nobody ever stayed in this area because the Virgin River would flood every year. So you'd be silly to put much infrastructure out here because you knew that the springtime floods would wash everything away. And that in fact happened with the first lodges they built in the 20s. They had to build 3 lodges that all got washed away before the current one, which is amazing, that you'll see here in a few minutes. And the only reason that this one stayed is because they spent infrastructure, time, and money to put the Virgin River into a channel so that it wouldn't flood the area that they kept trying to build in. So the Mormons came through here, or sorry, the Southern Paiute came through here, and they used the areas, but they wouldn't live in this area, just too much water. The Mormon settlers, they use this area because up on the top there's huge timber stands of ponderosa pines. So they built a zip line for trees where somebody up top could cut down big timber stands, drop it on a wire, and it would come to the floor of the canyon. And then they use that for building places like Hurricane and St. George. But really the natural beauty wasn't discovered to the 19-teens. And then in the 1920s, that's when this area became very visited by people doing something called the Grand Circle. And if you visited the Grand Circle, you'd go to Zion Canyon, Bryce Canyon, and the northern rim of the Grand Canyon. And it was promoted heavily by the railroads that brought people out here. So these are some of the tallest sandstone cliffs anywhere in the world, 2,500 feet for the tallest ones, vertical feet above the canyon. And again, this whole canyon that you see was carved by that dinky little river over on your right, the Virgin River. Which I think is even more amazing when you consider that it does 90% of its flow in a 10 to 15 day period every spring. Absolutely incredible. Again, you see the river over on the right, and you see the giant cottonwood trees. And I want you to notice the vegetation around here too, because it's going to change on us quite a bit as we climb out of this canyon this afternoon. This is a highway, and so the public pays the entrance fee to come into Zion, and you can use this highway to take to go up to Bryce Canyon, and that's what we're going to do this afternoon. But here in just a moment, we're going to take a detour on the canyon, on the actual Zion National Park Canyon Road that is only accessible by those with reservations or those people who buy a perfectly adequate chicken sandwich. So if you see in front of us, that's the tram, and they run every 3 to 6 minutes.
Oh, yeah?
So it's very frequent. No, I don't want to talk to you. It's very frequent, and it's free, and it's not crowded. So that's a great option, and I'll show you where you hop on that after lunch. I got to get out and type in the secret code.
Okay.
Open the gate.
Yeah.